The J.A.W. Show, Season 3, a comedy satire podcast designed to save the world with social issues and interviews. Brought to you by Blues Here Production. Check out all my social links on my Linktree at Linktree/Joshco. You can join my evil empire today. Join me here live for the J.A.W. Show.
The second story is the husband and wife who passed divorce, and the ex-husband, or some of the ex-husband, burned down the house. And unfortunately, the story is really being killed because the mother is caught.
you two together? Oh, good.
It's not very romantic, isn't it?
That's incredible. That was incredible. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. This is the Josh Show, Eyes Through the Spirit. All right. Well, we had some technical difficulties this morning because my guest had something go on with their family, and they couldn't be on the show today. So we're going to have an episode with me and my lovely wife, Eunice, as you like to say. Here, let me see if I can fix this a little bit. There we go.
There we go.
Now we can kind of see each other a little bit better. Yay! So she's gonna talk about her experience during when she joined me for the Global Ghost Hunt. We're also going to announce some special news for you today. We'll do that at the end of the episode there, but it's kind of some sad news, but maybe some fortuitous news at the same time. So just kind of like want you guys to get yourself all nice and prepared, because you know what? Those evil people might be stopping my evil plan once and for all, guys. It just might be time. They finally got to me. I can't do it anymore. I can't destroy the world anymore. You've all done such a great job of convincing me that my evil plan is full of holes. She's convinced me. You've convinced me. They've convinced me. It's just time to maybe let it go for a little bit, guys. And we will be returning, but we're going to be turning it into a paranormal investigation, kind of a afterthoughts, because I'm going to be joining. We'll just tell the news now.
Oh, go ahead.
All right, then. Well, I might be joining a ghost hunting team here in Minnesota as a medium and a psychic. And also I'm doing some daily tarot readings every morning from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. Central Standard Time on Twitch, YouTube, and on Facebook. But those might be coming here to the Parapost Network as well. So just in case you guys are interested in that. But that's probably the reason why the show is probably going to be going on a hiatus for a long period of time, because what has to happen is if I do get accepted into this new ghost team, I want to have that open availability and still be able to do my tarot readings in the morning. So, and the show has been going very good for about 2.5 years now. It would have been 3 years in October, guys. And and I really feel like I've done all that I can do with the show as far as in interviewing people, trying to show our professional and personal lives would come together, and we could also do something small to save this world. Well, you know what? They've done a pretty good job of convincing me that that's what people are trying to do on a daily basis anyway. So the evil plan, by evil plan. That's right. By evil plan.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Damn, it won't start. Okay, I'll have to do it later. And good. The evil button, I'm taking the batteries out. That way, no evil button can be done ever again. That's right. We've just saved the world. Give yourself a hand. You just saved the world. Yay! Woo! All right. Now I'm going to put this back in so I can do this one last time. All right, guys. The old magic button has been disabled. The old magic book has been set down today, guys. So, we thought we'd just come on here and talk about a couple of things here that we are going to be, that we have.
That was easy.
Well, I know it's easy. You don't have to keep telling you it's easy, even though I'm trying to put your little battery case back on.
That was easy.
Okay, I guess we get a 3. You guys get a 3 times that was easy today.
It's 3 times as easy. It's super easy.
You slut. I'm talking to the button, not her. Well, she's kind of a slut too.
We bit.
Anyway, so we're coming to hear what this episode is called Eyes Through the Spirit. Like I said, we were during my time during the Global Ghost Hunt last in May, from the 4th to the 14th, I was participating in a Global Ghost Hunt. I decided to take it upon myself to try to investigate a haunted glass bowl and a haunted potato ricer. Now, just to give you an update on that investigation, well, guys, I was not able to prove there was any kind of an intelligent spirit or spirit attached to it whatsoever, even though I came there every single day from a certain amount of time and tried to convince the spirit to kind of communicate and talk with me. I tried a lot of different experiments, a lot of different things that I thought might work, and tried to really, really put it out there for you all to see. So if you guys want to check that out, go check out my Global Ghost Hunt videos on the J.A.W Show, the Pair Post Network, and here live on Twitch as well, guys. So just so you guys know what's kind of going on. Oh, it's going to be kind of one of those days, Eunice.
Yeah, it is, J.A.W.
Okay, a little bit of a happy tears though, guys, because I mean, if I do come back, there's going to be better content. We're going to have more to talk about. We'll be bringing investigators onto the show. We'll be talking to people about their investigations and what they do, about the places that they do. We'll be talking about my mediumship and what we have to do. So from now on, the new evil plan is dun 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 dun. We're no longer going to try to end the world by a magic red button. We're going to try to explore this world and the supernatural and paranormal. And if the show does come back, that's what it will be about from this day forward. So I just want to let you guys know what you will see when we come back. So we will be taking, like I said, a hiatus for a while. I don't know when or if we will be back. So this might be my last episode for a long, long time, guys. So just don't be, if you guys came here to watch the J.A.W Show and you supported me along the way and you've helped me grow, I've done everything that I feel like I could do with the J.A.W Show, honestly. I really tried to do a lot of good business networking and stuff like that, but I can't spread myself so thin that I'm going to run myself ragged and run myself down. Right, honey?
Yeah, I won't let him.
Because as you can attest, even today, it looks like I have no energy because I've been doing way too much lately.
Yeah. Yeah. Now stop it.
Wait, okay. I'm awake.
Wake up.
I'm awake. So, so I guess I'd like to ask you some questions here. Okay, so we're going to talk about her experience during the Global Ghost Hunt that we did during her episode when she came to help me during that episode. So how was that for you for that hour, during that hour-long investigation for you?
It was interesting. I mean, we really tried. And just to see everything that J.A.W tried, which was everything. He tried EVP, he tried working with pendulums, he tried so much, and absolutely no response. And it's not because he's a bad person. No, he's not a bad person. It's just that either A, they didn't feel like talking, or B, there was no attachment. And that was kind of sad because I really did want to see something come of it to validate the owners of those items and what they believe. I really was hoping to get some kind of answer. And the fact that he didn't get any kind of response was a major disappointment.
Yeah, one of the things that I kind of, like I said, with all the different styles and things I tried, the only thing I didn't try was an overnight investigation. But because I had promised to be there during a certain time, I wanted to keep that promise to that spirit and ghost. What I feel like what happened is when they gave me that bowl, that spirit probably decided to stay with them instead of come here and wanting to be upon the show and be investigated by it. So maybe that spirit decided that it didn't really want to come along here. That's one of my theories. Or possibly, like she said, there wasn't an attachment to it at all. So we've actually proved that, at least for these 200 objects, that they are not as haunted as we were led to believe. They probably do maybe have some energies and sources to them, but even when I held them, even when I tried to communicate with these things with my own sensitivities and stuff, I wasn't getting anything either.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just one dumb thing. It was my intuitions telling me there wasn't anything there. It was the evidence telling me there was nothing there. So we had to conclude that the evidence was only showing that, hey, there is nothing here, at least no intelligence there. Maybe it was it's a residual kind of a deal, but it just decided not to show up during my investigation. And that's something that happens in the paranormal field a lot. When people are going out there to investigate places, sometimes they take a really big risk and take these big long weekends to go investigate a place, and they come up with diddly and squat, and that's the most frustrating part of being a paranormal investigator is when you're going out there trying to collect this evidence in these places that you are believing that these have some haunted places. Now, there are some people who got some great evidence out there, and you should definitely go check out the globalghosthunt.com for more information, because it is coming back in October, guys. So be forewarned, guys. Hopefully I will be a part of a team, and I will be able to go out during the Global Ghost Hunt this time and be an actual participation as going out into the field to be able to do this. So that's my greatest hope. But like I said, I'm still waiting for the results from my interview to see if I have been approved to be a part of their team or not. So we'll make that announcement a little bit later. If I should get the word or something, maybe I'll have a one-time special episode, just kind of let you know that that's what's going to happen there for a while. Or when I come back, I'll let you know when. Sorry. I'm sorry. I put out the cigarette butt for you. My fault. Oh yeah.
Can I have your lighter, please? Thank you.
See, I don't smoke them all the way down to the filter because I don't like the very end of the taste of the end of the filter. So she always grabs my cigarette butts and finishes them off for me. And I have this habit of always putting them out because that's just my habit. And well, let's just say I'm not very good at giving her the butt when I'm all done with it. So I usually start squishing before she goes, hey, I wanted that. So
don't squash that.
So if you're on any of my platforms and you want to add in your little 2 cents to this conversation, guys, I would really appreciate it. But
definitely,
we weren't going to have some interactivity here today, but it just seemed like things were kind of happening. Things happen for a reason. I honestly believe that things do happen for a reason. So I believe that the reason I wasn't able to get that guest on at the last moment is because maybe we needed to come here and talk about this event and stuff like that. One of the things that we found that the Joshua was inspired by the coronavirus that had started. I had lost my job. I had lost basically employment. My health was getting to be so bad anyway. So it was probably the most fortuitous time for me because it meant I didn't have to go back and work and break my back for 2 years doing the same thing that was making me sick in the first place. And my health hasn't gotten that much better. I have a lot lower quality of life now than I did before. And now I'm starting to see that, I'm starting to get up there. And I'm also waiting on my results for my Social Security disability benefits. So I thought I was going to be getting an answer in the mail. I went and reported that one of my pieces of mail was missing. Maybe they'll be able to find it or something like that because I couldn't find it. Or I'll have to contact them and say, hey, you sent me a letter in the mail, but for some reason it didn't show up in my mailbox. can you tell me, can you resend that letter to me, you know?
Yeah.
So
because stuff does get lost in the mail. I mean, let's face it, how many billions of letters get sent, every year?
yeah, it could have been as simple as someone seeing one address wrong, different than the other. And so, they put it in one of the wrong mailboxes. Somebody else might have gotten it, thought it was junk mail, and accidentally threw it away, or didn't put it back in the mailbox so that it could be redistributed. If it had to go back out and come back in, it's going to take a while to get back here. So
yeah, that's true.
So I'm hoping that it was just somebody's honest mistake, or maybe something happened where it didn't make it in the mail for whatever reason. But I'm hoping that wasn't my result, because I would really, really be mad if that was it. So,
True.
But since I don't know what was in the envelope, I don't know. Like she said, bah, bah, bah. So, so kind of the things that I kind of want to ask you about your experience during the Joshua as well. All the episodes you did come on. How was your experience being a part of the Josh show there for a while?
Oh, I loved it. All the different guests that he had on, and some really great people doing wonderful music, wonderful things in general. And it really was our pleasure to be able to have them on the show and to talk with them. So it was good. And the times that it was just the two of us, oh my God, we had so much fun. And apparently you folks like these standalone episodes too. And I think it's because we have fun doing them. We really do. And I just wanted to thank J.A.W for saying, why don't you come on? We can have some fun with this. And we did. We had a hell of a lot of fun. So, that was my experience, just to be able to giggle a little and just have fun with it. That's all that matters.
Yeah, the real evil plan was the whole time to show that we can do these things in our everyday lives anyway. And I hope that I showed you guys that we could bring our professional and personal lives closer together, so that we can also try to do something small to save this world, guys. So if you guys can find some time, or find it in your heart, to give your time away to someone who's in need, or someone who could use a leg up, someone who could use some assistance in life, even doing one small act of kindness every single day, guys, will change this world into being a better place.
Yeah.
And that is going to be the best possible message that the Joshua was trying to put out there. The question I asked every last one of you, right? If you could change the world in one thought, how would you save the world? And I asked that question, and everyone gave an answer that was conducive to making the world a better place.
Yeah.
Getting rid of hate, getting rid of racism, getting rid of things that we don't need in this world, that are really stopping us. All of the stuff that we talk about that we don't really need in our everyday lives in order to live happy, normal, brilliant lives, right?
Yeah.
So,
and I think, just even if your one act is to speak up against something or for something, one voice. But you have one voice, I have one voice, he has one voice. And when enough voices come together, it will sound like thunder rolling.
mm-hmm.
Okay, that's how things get done. Take, for instance, the George Floyd killing. Enough people were outraged and spoke about it and demanded justice. It could have just been another cop killing a white cop, killing a black man. Okay. But when the video came out, when all of that came out, people were outraged. People said, no, we are better than this, you know. And the guy that is sitting in prison now, you know, he got the message. That kind of behavior is absolutely unacceptable. And it's because the people said so.
Right. And the one important thing to realize also, guys, it was that you guys brought about this change. I think it was due also to the fact that it was recorded live and that it was happening where people could actually see it happening. There was a bunch of witnesses involved in seeing this actually happen. So, you know, but those are the kind of things that we have to do. We have to hold our people who lead us responsible for their actions too. You know, even the people who we trust the most to keep us safe, to keep us moving forward, we have to hold them accountable to a higher standard. You know, they shouldn't be able to get away with anything. They should be more accountable, in fact. You know, because they're in a place of power that can affect a lot of different people. And this goes out to every last one of you politicians out there. Stop arguing about the stupid stuff we shouldn't be arguing about. Let's really start to make some effective change in this country and in this world. We are really big leaders here that could actually make a very big difference if we just stop trying to rule everybody else's ideas of what they feel like they have to do for their own countries. And maybe we need to start taking a step back and saying, yes, we'll help you, but we're not going to go to war for you. We're not going to try to defend you unless we see something so outrageously bad that puts us in that spot, you know?
Yeah. And especially go to war. Think about how many lives were lost in the Middle East in these last 20 years. That was unavoidable. Absolutely unavoidable.
Oh. Depending on who you ask sometimes.
And, you know, that kind of dovetails with this being Memorial Weekend. You know, we should think about all those soldiers, those Marines, those airmen, every last person that lost their lives. They left family behind.
Right. All of our people who are service in the military, who go out there every single day to not only protect our country, but try to make it a better country at that fact as much. You know, we want to say thank you very much for your service today. Thank you on behalf of both of us here today, because we both acknowledge that the military families and people out there are not getting the benefits that they need to get right now.
No,
okay,
they're not.
And that shouldn't be even a thought in our mind. If we're going to do all of this to protect our country, they should be getting the best benefits they can get, you know. And that goes also for our people in schools. Our teachers need more funding. Don't take away our funding from our students from learning. We need to add more into education and less into our, you know, defense of our country sometimes. Who's going to come attack America with all the stuff that we already have surplus piled up? I don't think there are too many people who want to take on America right now, honestly. No. And they don't really have a reason to either, you know. Well, depending on the people you ask, okay?
Yeah.
Because there are some countries out there who feel like we're interfering a little bit too much in their country, and that's why they don't like us so much anymore, you know?
Yeah, especially in the Middle East.
Right.
You know, their cultures, their religions are very different from the typical American, and has nothing to do with race. Has everything to do with ideology. But, you know, a lot of Middle Eastern countries for decades, and I'm not talking, you know, just the 2 decades that we've been at war. This has been going on for many decades, you know, since 1980. They've been saying, hey, stop pushing your values, your ideals on our society. It's not your country. It's not anything like the US.
Right.
You know, stop trying to force us into doing things that their populations don't really have an interest in.
Right. And that goes for any other country out there. I mean, even though we don't agree with what's going on in the Ukraine right now, and I'm very, very in line with they support the Ukraine all the way, guys.
Yeah.
But those are the kind of things and conflicts that are happening in this world. When a big country's going after a little country for stupid reasons, like they were doing, that's when we have to stand up and say, hey, that's not right.
Yeah.
But we still have to be accountable to ourselves to also try to be the leaders that help us see why that shouldn't be happening. We should be pointing out why those things and those other countries could affect us. Maybe they could affect us, yes, but in the long term, they're going to be happening. Only the citizens that are happening in that country, in that place where they're doing that kind of stuff, where they're having that war, where they're having that conflict. Sometimes you have to let their own countries take care of their own things, because if the people want it enough, if the people really wanted enough and they came together, all together to say, this is the way we want our society to be now leave us alone. I still think that that's something that we should start paying more closer attention to.
Yes. Yeah. And, I know somebody from the Ukraine, and he is a prosthetist. He makes limbs for people that have had amputations. And when the whole Ukraine war broke out, he still had family there, and he said, I got to do something for my people, because those are my people. And he started a foundation that provides free prosthetics. They fly them over here to the US. They get evaluated. They get set up with free prosthetics. And that alone is huge, because as some of you know, I have an amputation below the knee. A prosthetic for me can run $20,000, and I have no idea how many people this man has helped out.
Right. And, it's important that we realize that. See, that's what when I talk about the saving the world part, that's what I mean. He took it upon himself to try to make the world a better place. Did he affect a lot of change? Of course, he affected a lot of change. Those people who maybe came back from war had a limb to kind of add to their life back, to give them a little bit of understanding that they are still a whole person, that they can still be a member of society and be a productive member of society at that, because they got the correct kind of equipment they needed to live their life by.
And I had the privilege to meet a couple of those patients, and they were so grateful for all the help, and all because one man said, I got to do something.
Right. And this means you guys can do something too out there in this world. There's something out there that you could be passionate about, that you could decide to give back to those people that have affected you the most in your life. The reason why we stand up and do things for people on a daily basis.
Oops, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, there goes my case again.
See how he is?
See how I am. So, like I said, it's kind of one of those important things, guys, where the Josh Show has been about that. That has been its sole old mission this whole darn time, It's been to try to show that we can make a difference in this world, even though we have a big professional life. We have to go to work. Most of us have to work a 9 to 5 or whatever time,
7 to 3
or whatever, the typical work day, an 8-hour work week. Some of us work more than that kind of work week. So talking about our doctors, our lawyers, our people who help us get through some of the most difficult parts of our lives,
True.
Our police officers, our firefighters, our ambulance, EMT drivers, They're all important parts of our society. And if we gave them the support and resources they need to do their job, maybe we wouldn't have to worry so much about all these other things going on in the country we don't like. See, we're not perfect either, guys. America's not as perfect as everyone wants to believe sometimes. We have our issues as well. And I love this country. I really, really do. Yes. I don't say this out of any kind of disdain for America at all. I'm just saying that we have to, as a country, start to collectively come together. But it will take the people to come together and say, hey, we ought to start doing things a little bit better in this country. And we're tired of you shoveling the same old crap in our faces time and time again, trying to go over the same old dumb issues that should have been solved, I don't know, 50 years ago. No one should have the right to tell you what to do with your body. I don't care if you're a man or a woman, okay? You should have that full, complete domain and control over that. No one should be able to tell you what you can and cannot do with your body. That's just something that shouldn't happen. No one's going to come to me and tell me you have to get a vasectomy because we want to be able to prevent pregnancy out there, right? Because I'm a man, right?
Well, yeah, it does take two. I mean, come on.
Right,
now.
It does take two. So there are a lot of issues that we still have homelessness here in America. We still have crime here in America. We still have things, people who are doing things out there that are causing harm to others in this country because we haven't had the mental resources, or we don't have the professional resources that we need to take care of those people before the fact, before that crime is committed, before that preventional moment. That's what we have to start gearing towards a lot of our country. And this is my personal opinion, that we have to start doing a lot more of in our worlds,
And that is so true. And this kind of goes back to anything that you can do. Even if it takes you going to a convenience store and buying a sandwich and maybe a bottle of water, a cold bottle of water, so a homeless person can eat, that means the world to them. Because now they've got food in their belly. They're hydrated.
Right.
Something that simple that costs, $6. You spend more than that at Starbucks, for crying out loud.
Right. And if we just, even if we're not talking about money all the time, so you could donate your time. Maybe we need to start, visiting these homeless shelters and start trying to see if we can help them out. Maybe we can try to, go to our adoption agencies and try to see about those parents who want a child, to start getting those children who need families adopted to those people who would like a family. It doesn't always have to be a baby to make a family, guys. And there are a lot of children out there who could be adopted right now by those families who want children, So, consider adoption too as your option of choice as well. I'm not going to sit here and tell you how to live your life, but, because that's not my job to do. My job is just to be here to point out these situations and things that are going on in our country that I think we could do better at.
Yeah. Shining the light is so important on these issues, because the more you shine your light, the little cockroaches that are running around causing problems for everybody else, they will scurry.
Right.
They will clear out, and, he mentioned politicians, and I'm not going to get into right wing, left wing. It doesn't matter which wing you're talking about. Okay. Both parties have their issues. Both parties have people that have their own agendas and will do whatever it takes to see that agenda move forward, right, wrong, or otherwise. And you're always going to have somebody who doesn't like that and says, now, hold on here.
Right. The things we are doing to our women in this country, these women have come so far along the way to make their rights available to them. There should have never been that kind of a sustain in this America. They should have been a part of us since the very beginning. Can you imagine what kind of country you would have had if we had had our partners by our side during this time, helping us rule this country? and it shouldn't be one of those things that we have to worry about. Or are people of color or people of different races, religions, all these things. You realize that these are just opportunities for us to learn about those cultures, those people, those places, those things that we don't have any knowledge of. The more information you have, people, the better choices and decisions you can make. And that's what we're asking you guys to do out there. Make good choices. Yes, follow your heart, follow your faith, follow what you believe in the most. I'm not going to tell you what to believe in, but make sure when you're stepping out into that light that you're doing it right, because someone will someday shine the light on you.
What more can I add to it than that? It's just.
Oops, sorry. Oops, I bet.
It's so important. My sister is a retired elementary school teacher. She is also very strong in her faith. She is in India right now and will probably be there for most of the summer. And because she feels strongly about helping others. She wanted to teach kids so they grow up to make good decisions. Okay. She had very strong opinions on how our kids should be taught. And some of them I disagree with, but in the end, I know her heart said, we need to do better. And she is doing that. Every year at Thanksgiving, she is vegan. So Thanksgiving for her is just like, what did she always do? She always volunteered at a homeless shelter. She served them meals. She talked to them.
No.
And I'm sure the people that she interacted with could see the good in her heart.
Right. And some of our most elderly people in this world who don't have anyone to come visit them anymore, who have family members who can't get to where they're at. How much joy could you bring to someone to go sit and listen to someone's stories for a day and just talk and open with them? It doesn't cost money. Maybe a tank of gas to get to your closest place that has a a senior aged place, where you could go and visit these people and make their day a whole lot brighter by just showing up and saying, I want to hear your story today. That will fill them with so much love and joy because they get to send their legacy on to somebody else who will remember them,
Exactly. And just even going a little bit simpler, they know that somebody wanted to talk to them. Somebody came to visit them, not just, oh, hey, I'm just here doing my thing and thought I'd pop in and bleh. No, it's somebody wanting to talk to these folks. And I'm considered a senior, and when I have friends that call or send me a text or what have you that say, hey, I was thinking about you. That means the world to me. It really does. And I am not useless. There are things that I can no longer do that I could do 30, 40 years ago. That's okay. That's natural.
That's the human condition, guys. We all grow up, we all get old, and we all eventually die and go back to the earth in the end.
Yeah. It's the whole ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
And what we have to realize is that this one life that we get, even if it's just me being Joshua Bleasy here, and I get to live this one life as this Joshua Bleasy. I don't care if there's another Joshua Bleasy in another universe. That's them, not me. I get to be this person. Only I get to be this version of me. in this place and time. And why not make it the most beneficial for me while I'm here? We're playing the greatest choose your own adventure game you will ever play. It's called life.
Yay.
And the choices and the decisions we make, not only within ourselves, can make a difference outwards as well. So if you feel like you need to shine that light, if you feel like you need to bring upon that extra moment where you want to go out there and protest against something you disagree with, go out there and give your voice to the people. Maybe become someone who can stand up and say, no, we need to start doing things a little bit different. Hey, I would love to see the president out there who says to Congress, knock this shit off, guys. We need to stop putzing around with all of this stuff, and we need to start doing it a lot better. You guys aren't doing your jobs.
Yeah.
The jobs we hired you to do. You are our employees. We are your bosses here in America. Every last person who voted for you, every other person who didn't vote for you, they were a part of the democratic process. That was their responsibility to do. They said that they believed in you, that you should be going out there representing them and doing the best possible job you can to make us all come together. And that's another thing. United States of America. Okay, I don't care if you're in California, Florida, Montana, or New Orleans, whatever part of the country that you're in, north, south, east, west, I don't care which one. We all have to do something to bring this country forward into the future now,
Yeah. Because if we don't, think about the next generation. What are they inheriting? Chaos. I mean, that seems to be their inheritance right now, is complete chaos. And it's sad, because I remember stuff from when I was a kid. I could play outside, with the other kids in my neighborhood and not be worried about, gee, who's in that car that might come to kidnap and molest me? We could stay out until dark and have nothing happen. Just simple things like that. The changes that I have seen in my lifetime in this country, everything from Kennedy getting assassinated to Equal Rights Amendment. We saw Roe v. Wade. We saw so much happen.
Our generation has been geared towards making more positive changes. I'm not saying that we aren't doing that either. We are really trying to do our best. We are trying to make those positive choices and decisions. But sometimes those differences between what people believe and not believe clash so much that it's hard to get past the issue. Now, I'm not, like I said, I'm pro-choice, but that doesn't mean I don't honor pro-life as well. We have to be able to take the other side of the coin and say, why is that important? Even though I am pro-choice, I still believe you have the right to believe that you have the right to say, no, this life is important and I want this life to be born. I'm not, but we can have better control of educating our children, first of all.
Yes.
Getting them to be open and honest about the communication between parent and child. If we can open up those lines of communication and stop being so scared to talk to our children about the most essential things that we need in our lives, start teaching our kids the things that they need to learn to run a nice, healthy life, to learn how to do their banking, their cooking, their sewing, all those stuff that I learned when I was growing up. We had home economics, we had wood shop, we had a bunch of different things. These extracurricular activities aren't extracurricular activities. They're possible jobs in the future that someone could do.
Yeah.
Our people who do the most hardest jobs or the most ickiest jobs in the world are probably the most well-paid people in this world.
Yeah.
The things that no one wants to do, the people who pick up the crap every day from the horse farm, or the people who go down into the sewers to make sure all of our pipes are running and working correctly and stuff like that. The people who spend hours in the most hottest environment whatsoever to make sure so we have that electricity, so we have that whatever we need to go, where their safety can be actually endangered because of the job they do,
Exactly.
And that goes out to our first responders, they are getting out there every single day, and they are putting their lives at risk as much as they are trying to help that person who's at risk as well. Not only do we have to try to protect the innocent and try to make sure that we aren't putting away people who don't deserve to be put away, aka some of that 420 stuff there. But that's my personal opinion. You can have your own opinion on that. But I'm glad that Minnesota has finally woken up and said we don't need to be a part of that anymore, that we can start allowing ourselves, that we are responsible enough to say to ourselves, we can do that responsibly now, you know? And I know there's a lot of issues still in that kind of a thinking for a lot of different people. And that's okay, because I know that some people will consider that, you know, addictive personalities will always find something different to go to when they don't feel like they're getting what they want. You can ask this young lady over here.
Oh God, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
She's been through that experience. You know, it doesn't matter what kind of a thing. It's not about what you're taking. It's about the escapism to get away from the problems and things that are going on in your life, most likely of the time.
Yeah. And,
you know?
And that's exactly what it is.
Or you got hooked on a medication that you took a little bit longer that you needed to take on, you know. Why not have better control of the things that make you are the most addictive substances out there in the world? Those should be the ones that are illegal. You know, the most addictive substances that we have out there, even some of the cannabinoids out there, you know, that don't need to be out there in the world, especially when we have something like cannabis that doesn't have the same addictive properties as something that powerful. You know, someone can quit smoking cannabis or weed or whatever you want to call it a lot easier than a heroin addict can come off of heroin. Okay.
Yeah. And I have a niece that was a heroin addict and went the methadone. And she told me that methadone is just as hard to get off of as the heroin. And you know, that's terrible, because I look at my niece. I remember when she was little, and to know that she went down that road that I could identify with, you know, that breaks my heart. But she's clean today. She lived through it. She was homeless for a while, and you know, living on the West Coast. And again, that really breaks my heart. But she has gotten help. She got the help. She managed to get her life back together. She works full-time job. You know, she is now a very productive member of society. And I am so proud of her for doing that.
That's right, guys. You know, the important thing for you guys to remember before end this show for today, and I really want to say thank you to all those people who have supported me along the way. A big shout out to Music Network One for helping me move and groove my podcast up to the next level. I want to thank people who have liked my pages, subscribed to my stuff. You know, you have shown me so much love, so much admiration for what I've been trying to do. And I really want to say I really, really appreciate you guys so much for helping me out. We are going to be moving this Josh show into a little bit of a different.
Oh, good Lord. Did you hear that bullfrog?
Damn, Bill. Hey, was it you, Lucy? No. Okay. Excuse my French, but I'm a rude, crude, socially unacceptable man. Delusions of grandeur, a God complex, and a little bit nuts.
Not a little.
Okay. That's my wife for you.
His crazy works perfectly with my crazy. Okay. You know, that's what you need to do. You need to find a person that is compatible with you. And I'm not talking about relationship. You know, your friends, your coworkers, your neighbors, you know, find those people that you interact with and relate to, because those are the best friends you will ever have.
And speaking of friends, I just want to say hi to my friend Colin out there. He's an awesome streamer on Twitch. He talks about baseball and sports. He loves his baseball and sports, and he does a great job at it. You know, our people who have more disabilities than I have in this country, we need to start supporting as well. People with bigger, badder disabilities than us, we got to find a way to make them feel more included in this life. And I'm glad that, you know, with the internet, when people always complain about social media and about how it can be a bad tool, it can also be used for good, guys, because the more we are sharing with one another, the more we are sharing our stories with one another, the better understanding we're going to have. Remember, back in the old days, we didn't have all of that kind of source for communication. So that's why things didn't get done a lot better, because there weren't a lot of people who could communicate effectively with one another. Now we have more resources to be able to communicate with one another. And I just want to say one last thing, guys. If you need some help out there and you really need to go get some counseling or some therapy, or you need to go get somebody out there to be your best friend again, someone who can help you get through the hard times, I don't care if it's your brother, your sister, or the stranger off of the street. If you can do something in this world to help somebody become that better person and improve their life, as long as they so deem you worthy to be able to give that advice to them, I want to say applaud to you, okay? Thank you very much for doing that every single day, to every last one of you who have been out there in the show. Well, guys, I think it's about that time to roll the credits, time to let her all rock and roll. I know it's sad. It's okay. I know. There. Oh, there.
Okay.
But like I said, guys, we really, really appreciate you supporting us throughout the years here. The Joshua will be transforming into a different show when we do come back. It will be more geared towards the paranormal side of things. So I'll be doing interviews with paranormal investigational teams, maybe giving you my own experiences when I go out into the field, stuff like that. But that might take a while for me to get some of this experience up to be able to come here and talk to you about it, because I'm the new guy, and hopefully I'll be the new guy soon. But you know, that will all be revealed to me in its own due time. And if that doesn't happen, well, I'm still going to be doing some daily tarot readings from 7 to 10 a.m. every day, Central Standard Time, via Twitch, YouTube, and maybe even the Parapost Network coming soon. I just want to talk to the owner and make sure that they're okay with me doing 3-hour tarot streams on their network. Otherwise, so you might see a little bit more of me too as the unknown prophet. But this is probably the last time you'll see me, J.A.W. Joshua is my real name. Eunice.
I'm Beth. That's my real name.
And we just want to say thank you for all of the support. We really, really thank you. We're going to roll those credits. Thank you very much for being here today. Have a wonderful and blessed day.
And have a wonderful Memorial Day.
Thank you for your service, every last one of you.
Yes. And if you're a service member and you can't deal with maybe losing a friend, go to the VA. Get some help. Please do not commit suicide. Please don't be another statistic. Please.
Right.
I'm a veteran. I understand.
And I am a 7-time suicide survivor, so I understand as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So just kind of a lot of things have happened in our lives, but we really want to say thank you one more time as we close out the show. You're going to see my unknown prophet ad here, and I want to say thank you for being here. Have a great rest of the day. So
stay blessed.
Stay blessed. Be free. Mwah.
Mwah.